Okay, good morning. Welcome to Yeshiva YouTube. This year is Iyun with Benzion. We're doing Kesubos Daf Lamed number 30. The Gemara brings a shita from Choni Ben Akana. Choni Ben Akana says, he argues on our Mishnah. He says that when you're chayiv kares, you're pater min tashlum. And our Mishnah clearly says you're chayiv for a knas, to rape a nara, who's a psula. You're chayiv even when it's your sister or your wife's sister or your aunt, all those types of cases where there's chiyuvei kares, right? You're still chayiv the mamon. Rabbi Chaim Akkad says no. If you're chayiv kares, just like you're chayiv misa b'dei adam, right? A capital punishment pater because of kimle b'dei rabbinay. We'll learn later in the perek. So too also kares paters. Where do you know that from? So Rav Abaye says you learn it from ason exera shava. It says ason b'dei adam, right? When you punched a woman or you killed a woman. Lo yason. If it's an ason, a tragedy, when you physically killed the woman, you killed her. And then there's also B'dei Shamayim. Also B'dei Shamayim is when Yaakov tells his children when they go down to Yosef, when they bring Binyamin, he was very careful. He don't want Binyamin to die. Like he thought Yosef was dead already. So therefore he warned his children, be careful even from an ason, even a tragedy. And the Gemara says that's B'dei Shamayim. It's ason, even if it's going to happen in the hands of heaven, right? Lightning strikes or something like that. You have to be careful from that. So it compares ason B'dei Adam to ason B'dei Shamayim. Just like ason B'dei Adam, right? There's Yechayev for killing a woman, right? A pater is minat hashlumin because of kimle b'drabme. So to kares also, right? Or if you misa b'dei shamayim, the Gemara says in lamanam and base, it would pater minat hashlumin, to pater you from paying the money. So the Gemara says, what exactly was Yaakov warning them? Why is it called asim b'dei shamayim? So the Gemara first says that it's sin upachim. The Gemara says that it says that. If they got too cold, if they had hypothermia, or they were dehydrated and Binyamin would die, so then he was talking about that. It's B'dei Shamayim, right? It comes to the hands of heaven, not through a person. And the Gemara challenges that. The Gemara says, no, Akol B'dei Shamayim chutz misin pachim, right? You can control whether you die from dehydration or hypothermia. You can control this. If you don't want to catch a cold, you don't want to get sick from the heat, you can control that. You can put on a coat. You can take off clothes. You can hydrate yourself. So that's in your hands. So the Gemara eventually changes course on Lam Namid Beis, and the Gemara says you're right. Sin and Pachim are bidei Adam, but the Gemara was talking about Yaakov was talking also about Gan Veva Aryeh, right? Bandits or lions, which is really bidei Shamayim because it's symbolic of Arba Mises Basin, which still technically apply. Hashem orchestrates it through natural means. Now, there's two phrases in Chazal, Kol B'dei Shamayim chutz mi something. Here it's chutz mi sin pachim. The Gemara in other places says, Hakol B'dei Shamayim chutz mi yira shamayim. Those are the two places that it says. Right? We can understand Hakol B'dei Shamayim chutz mi yira shamayim. Everything's in God's hands except for yira shamayim, if you're God. Right? Sinim upachim, the Gemara says here. Now, Tosfos brings a question on this. Not just being, getting sick from the heat or from cold, right? You shouldn't stand in a place where the leaning wall or, it's a dangerous place because it could fall down. He says, for sure, a person, if he wants to commit suicide, he can commit suicide. So it says, everything's in your hand. Not just sinning with Pachim, everything's in your hand. That's his assumption. Now, Tosfos' assumption, if you want to kill yourself, you can kill yourself. Kesubos, which is a Musar sefer written in the 1200s by a Sephardi gadol, I guess from Sfarad, Spain. I don't remember his name. He famously argues on this. Tosfos says you can't kill yourself, and most people say, nah, Tosfos is wrong. Tosfos, it makes sense. You can do something, right? What do you think, Bechira Kavsh, I can control my actions. I mentioned many times in other shiurim that I believe Bechira Chavshis does not mean that you can control action. You can't control anything physically in this world. The only thing you can control is Yiras Shamayim, which is basically means your Bechira Chavshis, your decision making. Meaning, if you decide to do the right thing and what Hashem wanted you to do, you'll be able to take from your mind to action, right? Physically, we think we're controlling my arm, but sorry to tell you, but we're all robots at the end of the day. We're all humanoids. Hopefully one day one of us will be Optimus Prime, but we're all humanoids. We're controlled. But you can make the decision to make. That's what we have. Bechira Chavshis. You can make that choice in your mind what's right and what's wrong. And if you make the wrong choice, right, Hashem will still force you, will put some other thought in your mind, which you'll think you're doing that action, but it's really Hashem putting that thought in your mind to do what Hashem wants you to do. You'll end up doing what Hashem wants you to do. You just have control, you're trying to make the right decision or the wrong decision. So what about Chasidim Apachim? How does that fit into what I'm saying over here, into the Chovos Halachos is saying? So I'd like to explain that when a person takes it seriously, Bechira Chavshis, he takes it seriously, decision making, and doesn't give that power up. He's always making decisions. From the time he has the ability to make decisions, I don't know, 16, 18 years old, he has that ability to make decisions. And he continues, does not let that go, and continues making decisions. So life is going to be uncomfortable. It's going to be hard. However long you need to do it. I don't know, 18 years. You need to keep on having that weight of decision making on you, and not only be forced to make a decision and make the right decision most of the time. And if you don't make the right decision, at least do tshuva. Right, regret what you did and keep on going. There's a lot of things that go into that. I've talked about other shiurim, how you go about that. You're going to have, your body is going to be in an uncomfortable situation, not just mentally, but physically also. I've personally experienced this, many years, during the winter, especially here in Eretz Yisrael. You could have the heater on, the heat could be on, but somehow the cold goes through the walls. And the winters here are much milder than New York, for example. Rarely you get snow here. The mean temperature is around 55 degrees Fahrenheit. That's pretty warm. It's like spring-like weather here during the winter. You're always cold. I always felt cold over here. Taking a sweater and trying to cover my knees. I remember from when I was in my 20s. You're always going to be cold. Sinu Pachim. That's not in your hands. And Dafka, if you exercise Yirah Shamayim, what Yirah Shamayim means to make Bechira Chavshis, to use that koach of Bechira, of making free will. So sometimes when it's cold, you're not going to be able to control the fact that you're cold. No matter how much you want to warm yourself, you'll be cold. And sometimes I found this also, during the summer, you turn the air conditioner on, you could still wake up in the middle of the night being really hot. Just like it's uncomfortable to make decisions, it's very uncomfortable to make decisions, maybe one of the hardest things to do. Your body is going to be uncomfortable for whatever that period is because your body is connected to your mind. If your mind is uncomfortable, your body's going to be uncomfortable. If you give up decision making, a lot of times life will seem easier, just like you don't have to make decisions, or someone makes decisions for you, or you just go with the flow and act like a robot. You just keep on going like a robot. Don't make decisions. Don't think about it. So then your body will probably be more comfortable in the short term. In the long term, it's not going to help you out. It's definitely not going to help you out. It's going to be a big problem. But in the short term, it will be. So these two things are interrelated. Yirah Shamayim and which means Bechira Chavshis, and Sinu Pachim are related. The comfortability, Hashem's not going to punish you, it's going to make it uncomfortable, right? Sometimes you want it, being too cold or too warm is uncomfortable. It's not torture, but it's being uncomfortable. So you're going to be uncomfortable, just like your mind is uncomfortable at that point. One day, hopefully, you'll reach the point where you won't have to make decisions anymore. You'll have conquered that ability to make. You'll be such a professional in making decisions that eventually you won't feel that hechrach, that need to make a decision, and your body and your mind will become easier, and your body will become easier. It'll adapt more to the world and be more comfortable in the world, and that's why the two things are interrelated. But you can't. If you decide to kill yourself, that means Hashem wanted to kill you. Hashem, you made the wrong decision to commit suicide, but Hashem had that planned out from before. Everything's planned out in the world. Hope you enjoyed today's share. See you in the next one.